Hey guys, Carlo here. So, this isn't normal for us, but what I can tell you is that it has been a crazy couple of months for Matt and I with a whole bunch of travel, work obligations, and other professional obligations. It's been nuts. But episode 11 is on its way. It's just not going to be today. Instead, we're releasing a special bonus episode, episode 10.5 and a half. So we're super excited for you guys to enjoy this episode. It's a little bit more lighthearted. I think you're going to enjoy it. And then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back with episode number 11, which we're very excited to get into your ears, into your eyes. And so thank you guys for your patience. We hope you enjoy episode 10.5 and a half.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to a special bonus episode of the Men and Community Podcast. Join Matt and Carlo as they share some of their favorite stories and explore a bit of their goofier sides with a question card lightning round. Thank you for being part of our community.
What's up, everybody? This is another special bonus episode of the Men and Community Podcast. I'm Matt. This is Carlo. We've had a couple of episodes in a row here that have been a little bit heavier. We've gotten into some challenging subject matter, things that are a little bit heavier, harder to talk about. And so we felt that it was time for a little bit of fun. And for those of you that don't know, I'm known as a professional child. I have business cards, and something that I think is very, very critical no matter what is to have a little bit of a sense of playfulness, a little bit of silliness that we introduce. And this is true no matter what your age or stage of life. And so for those of you that are watching this in video form, you're welcome. For those of you who are listening to it in podcast, you're missing out on something very, very, very important. And that is that there are little miniature rubber ducks all over our recording set.
They
today.
are our co-stars for
co-starring. In fact, they are the main stars. We're just like the background dancers at this point.
Yep, that's true.
And to me, these are like just reminders that it's important to have a little bit of silliness. And right now I've got a rubber duck on my shoulder, which let me tell you is much more of a soothing voice than either the angel or the devil that are usually on either shoulder. So these ducks, I'm going to save the duck story for a moment, but let's do an intro card first, then we'll talk about what we're going to do in this bonus episode.
Okay, so
we're going to
start normal intro
card. A little bit of a warm-up card to run things through. So okay. Are we more likely to receive proof of alien life or of God?
Oh, alien life.
I think alien life too. I think that the alien life could potentially show up in the form of something omnipotent,
omnipotent,
omnipresent, whatever that omni word is. But I think they will be extraterrestrial in nature.
Sure. I'm going with the alien thing first, mostly because I'm a giant Futurama fan. And if you're familiar with the episode of Futurama where Bender meets God, God says if you do things right, people won't know that you've done anything at all. And that is, I think, the perfect way of explaining a higher power. So I think it's going to be aliens. But you're right. We will look upon them in awe as they shoot laser beams.
Or
Okay. All right. That was a good card. What do we got? Would you be more afraid to be trapped on a rope bridge over a canyon or in a dark, cramped cave?
Cave.
Yes, cave.
I'm a big dude, and I like to know where my way out is.
Yep.
If my way out is falling off of a rope bridge, so be it. But at least I know what the exit strategy is.
Yes. Also, I'm sure you're familiar with this, but I didn't know anything about this until I listened to a story called Ted the Caver, which is a creepypasta. So it's a scary story. But
did you say creepypasta?
Creepypasta.
What?
That's an internet term. Have you never heard this?
No, I thought this was just like an Italian horror story.
It's when someone cooks the sauce wrong. No, a creepypasta is an internet written like short horror story.
Okay.
That is how it is described. And I don't know where creepypasta comes from, but that's just what it's called. So Ted the Caver is about a guy who goes spelunking. He goes caving. And he tells the story of finding this little itty bitty tiny hole. And through the hole, they can see that it opens into this cavern. But the hole is like 10, 15 feet long, I think. And what they do is they go down into this cave every night and they use power tools to make the hole bigger. But it's really, really hard to do such a thing. Like, you're not using dynamite, you're using a chisel and a hammer because that's all you have in a cave. And once they get the hole to a certain size, they create or they build a box that is the same rough dimensions. And they train themselves how to get through the box by like manipulating a certain way. And when I say box, I'm not talking, 2 feet or 3 feet wide. I'm talking like literally as tiny as you can imagine. So these guys will go into a cave and practice manipulating to make it through a hole they're not supposed to fit through, knowing if they screw up, they will be stuck underground with no way out. No, thank you.
No, it's no good at all.
I'm out. So if you want a good scary story, Ted the Caver, I recommend it. But also, no tiny boxes for Carlo. I'm out. Peace and no.
Or if you want to have a nice Halloween dinner at Carlo's mom's house.
Creepypasta.
Awesome. So just to emphasize a little bit more about our ducky friends here and why they, I have a bunch of weird things and one of them just happens to be a bag full of mini rubber ducks. One of my colleagues wrote a book, and for those of you who haven't read it, highly recommend you read it. It's called Playful Intelligence. The author is Dr. Anthony de Benedette. He is an MD, a medical doctor practicing in Michigan, and writes books about the importance of play and play for adults. And one of the things that Anthony talks about in his book is this idea of wonder. And he says this, something that's super, super central to the idea of being playful as adults is continuing to have this sense of curiosity, imagination, and wonder. And what he says is one of the reasons why adults cease to be playful is that things no longer carry a sense of wonder. Why? Well, imagine when you're a kid and you see a campfire for the first time, or you see ocean waves crashing upon the shore, or you see fireworks. You're filled with this sense of awe, this like sense of incredulous, just like wonder because you've never seen it before. Well, when we get to adulthood, we experience more things, we've seen more things, we've done more things are less wondrous. And so we need to work harder as adults to create these mini moments of wonder in our lives. So I have this colleague and it was his birthday a few weeks ago. And so me and other colleagues threw him a bit of a surprise birthday party. And he loves ducks, like all about ducks. Ducks make their way into his PowerPoint presentations at work. It's a whole thing. So anyways, decided we were going to throw him this surprise duck themed birthday party. And this is where all of the ducks came from, is from this surprise birthday party that we threw for a colleague of mine. But it was, again, about making these mini moments, these mini opportunities. And I think no matter what communities that you're a part of, an exercise that is really, really useful is thinking about how you can create these mini moments of wonder. They're not necessarily these big, spectacular gestures or moments or parties or things that we need to do. They can just be something as little as a mini rubber duck that just creates this momentary sense of excitement and playfulness and curiosity. So with that in mind, this bonus episode is going to be a lightning round of cards. We have a small pile here, probably 4 to 6 cards, and the episode will go so long as the cars last and our conversations allow. And we're just going to let our let our imagination soar, and wildly go through these cards and see where our ridiculous conversations can take us in the next few minutes here. And that's going to be our bonus episode.
Awesome. All under the supervision of the almighty duck.
You're talking with quite the beak on you right now.
Quack.
Quack.
Okay, card number 1, go.
All right. Would you rather be 10% smarter or 10% better looking?
Am I answering first?
Yes.
Oh, 10% better looking.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I'm already pretty smart.
Yep. Which fictional character would you adopt into your extended family to make gatherings more interesting?
Other than Donald Duck, I think that goes without saying at this point.
Scrooge McDuck.
Any kind of McDuck.
There's a money pool.
Oh, the dream.
Yeah, like painful, but the dream.
So again, we're adopting into the family.
Yes, extended family.
Extended family is important. This means we don't have to live with them.
Yeah.
A fictional character just for the sole purpose of making gatherings more interesting.
Yeah.
Ah, that's tricky. I would say Sheldon Cooper is the first one that's coming to mind from The Big Bang Theory. I think that would be fabulously interesting. You've got an endless supply of ridiculous facts that you never knew before, so you're learning stuff. And he's going to inevitably piss off somebody, and you're going to have some sort of ridiculous conversation. And then you get to go home because you don't live with him, which living with him is half the premise of the
show. Okay, fair enough. I find it interesting that you chose Sheldon Cooper because I had already chosen Professor Frink.
Who dat?
From The Simpsons.
Oh, I don't watch Simpsons.
Oh, the guy that goes, Mahaven Glaven.
Sure.
Really?
No.
Oh my. Okay. He's the nerdy scientist. He's always got the great inventions and everybody kind of ignores him unless the world is falling apart. And he somehow has, the most outlandish way of solving this problem, but it never goes right. Like the flying motorcycle that he instantly crashes.
Classic.
I just think it would be fun to have an extended family member show up to Thanksgiving dinner with a random invention that he wants to show you how it works, and it doesn't work right.
I like it.
And blows the turkey up.
Yep, fair enough.
Okay. Card.
Which one of the world's problems would you most want to solve?
Ooh. Like full on serious answer? Hunger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Non-serious answer.
The fact that some people don't wear deodorant.
How do we solve that problem?
That wasn't the question. The question was...
It's the question now. I'm asking you a question.
Okay, so I guess it's not that people don't wear deodorant. It's that people have really bad body odor. So, can we solve that problem? And how do we solve it? I don't know, mandatory injections of some kind? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
You have odor vaccines?
That's right. Odvid 20.
Yikes.
Okay, go.
Okay, what serious one I would want to solve is access to water, I think.
Okay.
A non-serious problem that I would like to solve would be stupid drivers.
Fair.
Yes. And I think starting point is we need to have I think every vehicle should come with a pre-built-in dunce cap.
So we're going to shame our drivers into better driving?
Now you're onto it. That's right. So what'll happen is whenever the car senses that a dumb maneuver was made, which new cars can all do because they've got sensors and they know when proximity or
sure.
And this dunce cap is just going to inflate on the top of your vehicle like a unicorn horn, like this inflatable, I'm an idiot kind of hat. So you can tell these ideas are not rehearsed, folks. We're coming up with this in
I
real time.
I want to add something to that.
Excellent.
Can you imagine if there was some sort of system that the other drivers and people around you could give you a rating, and if you crossed that threshold, the dunce cap would inflate for you? So like you cut somebody off and the computer doesn't think you did anything wrong, but the person in the other car was like, you're an idiot. Or you park and you take up 2 stalls, you're an idiot for everybody that walks past. So you come out of the grocery store and your car's inflated with a giant dunce cap and says, I'm a moron.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a great plan.
All right. We're changing up the podcast. We're going into product development.
I love it.
All right. Card. What's your sexiest outfit?
Well, because it's the first thing that came to mind, I guess. I have a bright red, like similar to this red that I'm wearing, which is like a classic, I don't know what you would describe it, red. I was going to say royal red, but that's blue. Royal red's not a thing. Like very bright blood red color of suit. It's certainly not my sexiest outfit, but like what's coming to mind right now is this one time where like I went to Vegas for Halloween and dressed up as the devil wearing this like bright red suit, black French cuff shirt, and had my face painted red with black eyeliner and like the horns glued to my forehead, the whole thing. That was probably my sexiest outfit.
Okay.
But by my estimation, obviously, I don't have anyone to tell me that was or wasn't true.
Like nobody's going to tell you it was, so don't worry about it.
Yikes.
Do you have an arch enemy? I was going to make a Simpsons joke, but you don't watch it. Do I have an arch enemy? Yes.
I think I have an arch enemy now that it's been found out that I don't watch Simpsons.
Kind of. Not anymore. But I remember.
You took care of them?
Yeah. Like I haven't seen them ever since.
Uh-huh.
I did at some point. I was bullied a lot as a kid. And I remember having like 1 or 2 people that I was like, if they just disappeared, I wouldn't be upset about it.
And you're like, Mom, make the creepy pasta.
That's right. So I guess at some point right now, no.
All right. I do not. I don't even know if I could think of who one would be for me right now. It's not coming up.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's your best excuse when you're pulled over for speeding? To be honest, I've been pulled over for speeding a few times. The last time I got pulled over for speeding, I just kind of gave up. I pulled over and the police officer came to my window and I stopped and said, "Good morning, how are you today?" And she looked at me and she's like, "You understand you're being pulled over for speeding?" I'm like, "Oh, I know that, but that's certainly not your fault. So certainly no excuse to be rude."
Yeah.
It wasn't a really good excuse, obviously, because I still got ticketed, but at least we were both laughing about it.
Fair. And I was going to say that, yeah, sometimes no excuse is necessary. Just be nice to the people. But mine is I was just driving road speed. Everybody else is doing 20 over. Why wouldn't I? Can't go slower than everyone else. That's dangerous. And it has worked. But this does actually remind me of a story. So I went on a road trip to live in Calgary. We drove all the way out east to Ottawa. Mm-hmm. And we did it really, really quickly. Like it was constant driving, swapping out drivers, everything. And I was in Ontario. It was right before sunset, middle of summer. So like moose country. And we drove through this little town and I didn't notice that the speed limit went from 100 to like 50 or 60. So we got pulled over, me doing like double the speed limit. And it's this officer that comes and really, really nice lady. And I used the word lady out of respect because she was gorgeous and like maybe 5 or 6 years older than me at the time. And she's like, telling me all the things that I've done wrong. And she goes, "I need to see the license and the registration." And I reach over and we weren't driving one of my cars. We were driving my buddy Ryan's dad's van because we were like 19, 20 years old. And we go to get the registration and I hand it to her with my license. And she looks at it and she goes, well, this is not the registration for this vehicle. So I go, okay. And we go back to the glove box and we pull out 3 or 4 more registrations that are either for the wrong vehicle or they're expired.
Oh, no.
And she goes, well, tell you what, I'm going to go back to my cruiser and I will come back in like a minute and you guys have your stuff sorted out. And so I look over at my buddy Ryan. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. It's my dad's car. We don't have the things. And we're losing our minds thinking that we're going to just get the car towed or something. And she comes back and she looks into the window and she goes, okay, you've got 30 seconds to convince me not to impound the car. And on that note, folks, I think that is our duck-fueled lightning card round.
Remember, whatever communities you're a part of, whatever groups of people that you're with, think about little things that you can do to create that ducking sense of wonder for those people that you care about in your communities and your lives.
Yeah. Have a little bit of fun today. After this episode, call someone that you think you could have a duck lightning round with. Get together, have a little bit of fun. And I'm going to invite you, go to Men and Community on Instagram and comment something goofy that you did today to bring a smile to your and someone else's face.
Love that.
Awesome. Anything else?
No, I love it. Thanks you so much, everybody, for joining us for this bonus episode. And we will see you for the next episode of Men and Community.
Yeah, now get the duck out of here.